I'm Sam Koch. I'm one of the top 10 fencers in the US and one of the top 100 in the world. When times seem tough, I always try to think about all the good memories I have, and you focus on those good things and those like perfect moments when you think back and you scored the perfect touch, or you beat someone that you never expected you to ever beat, and you hold on to those and you're like, I can do this again. I can overcome the adversity that I have right now, and I can do better, and I can get back to that form, and I can surpass that form. And you just have to think positively through all those times and just try to like get the best moments and like hold on to those and like help use those to carry you through. Like if you're trying to motivate yourself, you have to look at yourself and you're like, why am I not motivated to do this? And you have to look through everything that you're doing and find the thing that's like holding you back, that's making it not fun for you, and you have to find that, and you have to kill it, and then you have to find the things that make you excited about what you do, and you have to like raise those things up and want to do those more. If you're trying to motivate yourselves, start with just setting really simple goals. And once you accomplish those goals, set bigger goals. And by that process, you'll accomplish your goals and you'll feel good about yourself and you'll be motivated to accomplish the next goal. So as an athlete, when you're having a bad day and when you have bad moments, you need to be able to have a short-term memory and forget about those bad things, and you need to just be able to throw those away so you can focus on the moment. But at the same time, you also have to keep those bad things so that when you feel like you can't do it anymore, you can kind of use those as a little bit of extra like push, and use that like hatred or like fear as like motivation. When I feel overwhelmed, I usually just try to take a break from what I'm doing. So when I'm fencing, it's during the season and I have a tournament every 2 weeks. In between that time, I'll take like a day or two off just to like cool down and reset and refocus, so that when I get back to fencing, I'm in there 100% and I'm not distracted by any outside influences or anything like that. To stay focused and stay away from distractions, you really have to like make a checklist of what you need to do, and you need to put your priorities first. So for me, it's like, I know I need to get my homework done so I can get to fencing, so I can get my lessons, so I can get my bouting in, so I can get my strength and conditioning in, so I can get all that stuff done, so that I'm able to get everything done in my life. And then I let the distractions come in afterwards. So you have to prioritize what's important first. My one piece of advice is find something you love and keep doing it until someone tells you you have to stop. Because you only have one life and you only have one shot in this life, and you better just like do what makes you happy and do it until it hurts. One of my coaches once told me that this is where you are and this is where we're going and this is how we're going to get there. And you have to have that frame of mind all the time and just see where you are and constantly evaluate that and constantly evaluate where you're going. And then through those two things, you'll be able to create steps on how to get there.
Hi, I'm Justin Skolnick. I've been producing music for about 3 or 4 years now, and it's developed into one of my really great passions. I definitely can see myself doing this for the rest of my life. When I'm struggling, I tell myself that I have to stay confident. There's a lot of times being a music producer that you can't think of any new melodies, any new beats, or anything like that. So you just kind of have to tell yourself that you've been there before, that you've persevered through it, and that eventually you're going to get through it again. If you haven't been able to motivate yourself yet, I think the one thing you just need to do is find that passion of yours. That means you have to keep trying new things over and over again and try to find that one thing that really sticks with you. Once you find that, it's easy to motivate yourself because you want to constantly keep doing that thing over and over again. I started to become much more motivated, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was looking on YouTube, looking at a lot of videos of these kids my age that were getting record deals and, making music for big artists out there today with big names. So I was looking at them and saying, wow, if they can do something like that they've been working their whole life to get to at such a young age, how come I can't do that right now or in a couple years? So I know that I have to keep working as hard as I can so I can get to that point eventually. I think one really important thing to do when you're striving to be something great is that you really have to set individual goals, that deadlines, and have those deadlines, and you have to meet each of those. And that will really help you from getting distracted from other outside forces. If you have those goals, you know that you have to work a certain amount to reach that. And once you reach that, you know you have to keep going to reach that next goal, and then that next goal. And I think if you keep that path going, that you will reach that eventual great goal of being whatever it is that you want to be. Now, as I've developed this passion, there have been a lot of people that have actually doubted whether or not I could do this for the rest of my life or as a career. And when I start to hear that negativity, I just really focus on myself and know that this is what I want to do. I don't worry about what other people think about what I want to do, and I just keep doing and striving to reach all of my goals. And you know, worst comes to worst, haters gonna hate. As I've developed this passion for producing, I've realized what is right and what is wrong. I know that if I want to reach my ultimate goal of producing, for big name artists, I have to stay on that positive track. I have to keep my momentum going in the right direction, and I can't steer off that path. If there was one piece of advice I would give, it would just be, don't be scared to do anything. If you have been doing something for a long time, but you feel it might not be the right fit for you, don't be afraid to start all over again. Don't be afraid to go back to that beginning point with something new that you think is like your actually real passion. Because if you do that, you'll be a lot happier, and you'll also be a lot more motivated.
School of San Francisco. I strive for academic excellence, and I wish to use my knowledge to benefit others and to enrich others' lives. Everyone can be motivated. I think that's something that we can all share, and I think the key is to find something that you love to do. I think Steve Jobs put it the best when he basically said that if you don't love what you do, you're going to fail. Because the people who love what they do are willing to endure, or they're willing to work hard, where most people would drop out and quit. So the first thing I think is to find something that you really love to do. And if you haven't found that yet, I encourage you then to continue looking, to continue searching, trying new things, trying to find your calling. And once you find your calling, things click into place. It becomes easy to work hard. You don't mind staying up late, doing things that you wouldn't normally want to do. What helps me get through the grind is when I visualize the end goal. I set my mind to something, and it helps me the most when I'm in that tough place to envision myself having accomplished it, looking back on everything I did and saying, wow, this feels good, it's feeling a victory, I like it a lot, I want to do it again. And so I envision myself at the end. And so when I do encounter failure, when I do encounter defeat, hardship, I can battle through that by focusing on what's ahead, where I want to be, and then breaking down what's in front of me, the challenges that I face in several manageable bite-sized steps. So after numerous failures at whatever I'm doing, whether it's writing an essay or it's constructing a speech, solving a problem, what I often do is take a step back, go for a walk, clear my mind before I approach the problem again. And when I approach the problem again, I don't do it the same way. I try to look at it from a new perspective, approach the problem in a new way to try to solve it. Tracing back when I first started to work hard and become motivated to change myself and to improve myself, that's a difficult question for me because I think since day one, I've been given a lot of gifts in my life, a roof over my head, clothing on my back, food on the table, loving family, a great education. These are things that most people don't get in life, and I was given those things. So I think there was this silent expectation, this obligation that I had, that the least I could do was to take advantage of those gifts, to seize every opportunity available to me, and to cultivate myself at every opportunity. So there really wasn't a point where I decided, okay, now I'm going to have to work hard, or I'm going to have to change my ways and become a better student, a better learner, because I've always felt this way. I've always wanted to take advantage of what I've been given and also to share those gifts with other people. So there really isn't a specific way I motivate myself. It's really just about finding a passion. And I've found something I really like to do. I like to collaborate with others. I like to delve into history and question things and discuss with others and share my ideas. And so that fuels my motivation. That's why I get up every morning and do what I do, because I love to do it. And there really isn't anything else to do it. what's more important than being a morning person, per se, is to be an anytime person. So that means getting up in the morning if you have to, staying up late, staying up all night. If that's what it takes to accomplish your goal, to get something done. If you have a passion for something, you're going to have to be willing to work toward that goal, no matter what it takes. Don't let your past failures prevent you from dreaming big, prevent you from accomplishing and reaching for your dreams. One of the worst things in life is to quit and to stop persevering after failures. Yes, there are always going to be failures. No matter what you do, there will always be people saying you can't do it, you're just not good enough. But what really sets apart the people who reach their dreams and who are happy with their lives and the people who aren't is their ability to persevere, their ability to push forward despite the many challenges, the many obstacles in their way.
Hi, my name is Jason Nemirovsky, and I'm an aspiring collegiate baseball player. What helps me get through the tough times, the times that really push my physical and mental limits, is when I reflect on all the challenges that I've overcome, and I just think to myself that if I work as hard as possible, I'll get it done. In order to truly put your full effort into something, you need to get rid of the excuses. You might be tired, you might be sore, you might just not be in the right mindset, but if you want something bad enough, you just need to push through. Whenever I fail, I try to analyze it and I try to work on it so I make sure that I never do it again. And I also use them as driving factors when I'm in the weight room or when I'm on the field or when I'm just working on my game and preparation. What moved me to become the motivated person I am today is when I realized that there are thousands of kids just like me, but in order to rise above all of them, I need to work harder than all of them. Whenever I get overwhelmed, I try to focus on everything positive that's going on in my life, and I think about everyone else that has it a lot tougher than I do, and that really helps me stay grounded. Being a teenager, there are many distractions in our lives, but it's important to create priorities for yourself. If it means missing a few parties, if it means stepping outside of your comfort zone, if it means losing some sleep, it's just something that you have to do if you want something bad enough. It's important to understand that your opinion is the only one that matters. You can't let anyone else tell you how good you are. You can't let anyone else tell you how far you can take something. You should be working hard to please yourself and not anyone else. One important piece of advice that I have is never be afraid. Don't be afraid to push your limits. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to start over. Just believe in yourself and know that if you work hard, anything's possible.
Hi, I'm Elena, and I've been competitively ballroom Latin dancing for the last 12 years. What helps me get through the times where I just want to give up is to block out all the negativity from my life, all the negative sources, whether it be my friends or family discouraging me, or myself and my own negative thoughts telling me I'm not good enough or I can't succeed. I just block all of that out and focus on what I need to do. What I would tell someone who hasn't figured out how to stay motivated yet is that motivation isn't something that's always there. You have to find it and stick with it. It's something that you have to find within yourself, and you have to find within the goals that you want to achieve. After failing countless times, I stay motivated by remembering why dance means so much to me in the first place. I love to dance, and it is my passion. Since I was 5 and started dancing, I had no idea how important dance would become to me. I failed countless times, lost many dance competitions, and lost many partners. At the age of 12, my dance partner quit, along with a lot of people at my dance studio, when middle school came around. I decided to stick with dance because I loved it so much and see where things went. I began to dance more competitively and train harder every single day for countless hours, working on myself without a partner. Finally, I got a good partner and we went to nationals, and we were ranked 8th, which was a big success for me. After that, I've been working really hard, and I just stay motivated and remember what I've been working so hard for the last 12 years, instead of dwelling on all the past failures I've had or all of the bad things that happened. I started to work hard after I saw good results coming to me. Before, dance was more of a social thing for me. I just liked it because it was fun and my friends used to go, and I didn't really focus on how hard I wanted to work and the goals that I wanted to achieve. After winning regional competitions and competitions locally and all around the US, I began to take it a lot more seriously. I started to train for hours and hours after school and on the weekends. And what made me the person I am today is all the time that I've spent dancing instead of, maybe being with friends or going to a party or, focusing on just what I do. And I've been doing it so much that it's just become a part of who I am. Being a competitive ballroom Latin dancer, of course, life gets really overwhelming because there are other aspects to my life that are really important, such as school, and my family, and my friends, and other things that I enjoy doing. And it's hard to keep a balance, but it's also important. I can't just, always dance and dance and dance, but it's also important to, spend a lot of time dancing and work hard for my goals. So I try to manage my time well, and it's, it's a journey. I'm still learning. We live and we learn, and it's important to, make sacrifices sometimes with the things that aren't so important, like, don't watch TV or don't do this, and spend more time dancing so that I can do things such as, like, spend time with my family or my friends. I stay away from distractions by focusing on what I need to do and making it a habit. The more I dance, the more I forget about the other things in my life. When I work hard and I constantly work at what I do, I dance every single day. It becomes a part of my daily life, and it's not something that I think about doing. It's routine for me. Dancing for me is like, breathing, eating, and sleeping. It happens, every single day for a few hours a day, and it's something that I need to do, and it's something that I want to do. I don't even question, I just go, and I think that's really important for being successful. It's making something a priority in your life before all the other things. You can't be successful if you're not loving what you do, and if you're unhappy. You have to have fun and enjoy what you're working towards. You have to reward yourself. You have to be nice to yourself. You have to give yourself time, because success takes time. Nothing happens over a day. If you don't see results happening, you can't be down about it. You can't give yourself a hard time over that. You have to let yourself work, and you have to enjoy what you do and enjoy the process. It's not just about the end result, because I've already gotten my results, but I'm still working, because it's not about, my next dance competition, my next result. It's about the process of working hard every single day. What people see when they come to dance competitions is just me dancing there that day in that moment. But what I see and what other people see is all the hard work that I've put in every single day for countless hours, and that's what really matters. So you have to learn how to stay positive. You have to learn how to stay motivated throughout that. I think it's important to learn how to not let other people stop you from achieving your goals, because there will be people who will try to push you down or try to make you believe that you're not good enough, or that you can't succeed, or that you can't do some things. Constructive criticism is always helpful, but when it's just criticism and when people just say things to try to let you believe that you're not good enough or you're not worthy enough of your goals isn't helpful, and you should just learn to block those things out and focus on what you believe.
Hi, my name is Zeke Mostov. I race for Ogdensburg U23. I also race on the U.S. national team. I'm the 2013 men's junior bronze medalist for World Championships contract. In order to get motivated, the most important thing I think is goal setting. You have to have a goal, and you have to really want that goal. Because if you really want something and you really believe you gotta have it, there's nothing that's gonna stop you from getting it. I think you can't start getting motivated until you have that goal set and you have that drive to achieve it. Because really at the end of the day, the motivation has to come from you. That's the internal. After failing, after falling on the ground, after coming in last place, that's when the motivation and the make it or break it time really happens. It's easy to be motivated when you're coming in first place, when you're achieving your goals, you're hitting the landmarks, everything's on time, ahead of schedule. But it really comes and it shows your personality, and it shows what type of work ethic you have and what type of motivation you have. And it's a test. The test of failure is really the ultimate test. Winning's not going to tell you much about yourself or your motivation levels. If you have failure, that is when motivation is most important. That is when picking yourself up off the ground, dusting yourself off, and getting that extra oomph to just get over the next hurdle, the next hill. Reattempt, retry after retry after retry. You might not get your second time, you might not get your third, you might not get your 25th. but it's the fact that you're going after it over and over and over again. And it's that drive that separates those who are successful and those who aren't. When I'm getting overwhelmed, I break everything down to small steps. It's all about how much getting to your end goal, but it's also how you get to your end goal. Because you need to put in the quality work and the quality time, and that gets overwhelming. We have lives, we have friends, family, school, other commitments that you have to balance all of them, and you have to be realistic, because I'm human. I can only do so much. So I break down every goal into smaller sub-steps, and I just think, what do I need to do this next hour? What do I need to do this next minute? Where am I going next? Just what's the next point? Not even the point after that, just what is the next point? And I give it my full effort on that. If I'm doing an interval, 5-minute interval, and I have 100 of them to do, I'm gonna give that one 5-minute interval everything I got. Everything. Even I know I have 99 more left. If you can't get to where you want to be unless you give every step everything it needs. Every day has a finite amount of minutes. At the end of the day, those minutes are gone. How would you spend those minutes? If you had $1,000, let's say you had $86,000 in your bank account, and you, every day, that money was taken away and refreshed. How would you spend every one of those dollars? We assume you'd spend every one. But think about it, that's how your day is. You have to spend every one of those dollars, because the next day you're gonna get more, but those 86, if you didn't spend all of them, you weren't making the most out of your money. And you have to make the most out of your time. My one piece of advice would just be, do what you're most passionate about. With passion comes results. With passion comes success.
Anyone can motivate themselves and find self-motivation if they really want it and they're patient with themselves and they are also realistic about what can work. So sometimes people see someone else motivate in a certain way and they think, well, I should be able to do it that way, but it doesn't work for them. You have to take into account who you are and how you work. And it's also important to have a realistic thing you're working for, because if some part of you doesn't really want what you're trying to motivate yourself for, then it's going to be hard to follow through and make it happen. I think the thing that gets in a lot of people's way are the shoulds. I should do something, people say I should. It undermines what you want, and if you feel like you should do something, you're not really connected to it. You have to find a way to really want it yourself. I think it's very hard for a lot of people to connect to a passion because young people and adults are very much told by society, or they feel they're told that they should be doing certain things at a certain time, acting a certain way, feeling certain things, and not everyone does that. And it just, again, it's really listening to trying to get past what you're hearing from other people and find your own truth. And there are many different ways to do that. Talking to people, I think one of the most important things for people to do is to not hide their confusion or the questions they have, but to really talk to people and be open about it and maybe switch their perspective to, so frustrating, I don't know what my path is, to, wow, I get to choose from the whole world, and what are the different fun things I can do or interesting things I can try to figure it out. So to see it not as a challenge and an uphill, but really a great opportunity. So one of the ways I think people can push through mental blocks is one by literally imagining the block as a physical thing, like a wall. And if you imagine it's a wall and you imagine pushing through it, like literally pushing through it, you're not going to be able to push through a big giant wall. So instead you think, well, what tools do I have? How else could I get around this wall? What are the ways that I can figure this out with my skills? So when people feel stuck, they often literally kind of shut down. They are stuck. They're literally physically stuck, emotionally, mentally. And so the first really important thing to recognize for someone is that they're stuck, and admit it to themselves and say, I'm stuck. And tell people, say, I'm really stuck. So I think that's the first thing, just own it and say, I'm stuck, I need help, I need to figure this out. Talk to people. Tell people what you're stuck about, because I think that sometimes we feel like, well, I shouldn't be stuck. So since I shouldn't be stuck, I shouldn't talk about it. And then they're quiet and they hold it in, and then all they feel is the frustration of being stuck. So admit you're stuck, talk to people. And then another tool people can use is to try to find another perspective on whatever their situation is. I mean, what I would say to people is everyone gets to this place at different points in their lives. And sometimes you look at people who have found their passion and are really driven and barreling through and successful, and you can see that and think, that's so unfair, why don't I have that? I want that. And instead say, I'm gonna get that at some point, and I'm not sure when. And be open to finding it, but on whatever schedule your life is gonna have. So allow yourself to be inspired by that, and trust that someday you will find your version of that.